Hello and welcome back to The Pursuit of a 10, episode 5. Today I'm with my friend Dave, and we're in his boat, so shout out to Dave and shout out to his boat. Today we are obviously looking for yet another 10-inch bluegill. Haven't done that yet, but I tell you what I have done is I've really started to work up some confidence in my abilities to find bigger bluegill. I feel like I understand them more. After speaking with those fisheries biologists, I definitely feel like I understand the species more and kind of what big bluegill do. So we are trying a different lake today. Dave's never been here. I've been here once. I don't really know what to expect, but one thing's for certain, we're gonna give it our all and we are going to try to catch a 10-inch gill. So let's get started. Also, shout out to my sister for giving me this hat. When she lived in Australia for a little while, she bought me this. It's a Tilly hat. It's really awesome and I love it. Thanks, Katie. Oh, what'd you get? A little dinky bass? All right, Dave's on the board with an absolute micro. So good work, buddy. I put my fancy Daiwa Tatula reel on this cheap Okuma Salilo rod. I don't know if anyone else has ever had a rod and reel combo quite like this, but obviously I broke my Dobbins in the last fishing episode, and I still have yet to get that replaced. You know, I'm gonna have to basically pay him 80 bucks and I'll be able to get a replacement, but you know, that's not the end of the world, I guess. There we go. Oh, looky there. Dinky bass. Okay, well, wrong species, but we've got a fish, so that's good. And there you have it. We're on the board. Also, I failed to mention that it's like 17 to 20 mile an hour winds today, so that's gonna get interesting. There's a fish. He was off deeper. He's got some fight. It's probably a bass. Yeah, little bass. That's the best one of the day, but that ain't saying a whole lot. Well, we both caught 2 fish and they both been bass, so evidently we've got some learning to do before we catch the sunfish and bluegills, but a fish is a fish, man. A fish is a fish. That's got to be a bass. Gosh, just all dinky bass today. Just all dinky bass today. Oh man, well, fish is a fish. We're catching some fish. Can't find the right species though. There's one. That's another little dinky bass, man. Another bass. Sorry, bud. Hey, there we go. We're getting there. This is a warmouth. That's a warmouth. That's a beauty of a warmouth too. Look at that. It's not technically the target species, but it's a lot closer. It almost looks like a rock bass, but that is a warmouth. All right. There's another fish. Oh my gosh, Dave. Look, doubled. And you got a warmouth too. Yeah. And I got like the micro bass. I'm definitely the dink master today because you haven't even caught one this small, Dave, and you've caught a lot of small ones. Nice. Isn't that a beauty? Yeah. Dude, those warmouth are really pretty. There we go. That felt like a bluegill bite. Whoa. Whoa, it's a bluegill. I told you it felt like a bluegill bite, and it's a nice one. I'll tell you what, we're gonna get a measurement on that. It's about a 7.5 incher, and that is a male. That's the species we're after. Not quite the size, but it's a heck of a way to start. See ya, bud. What does he got? What's Dave got? Oh, nice gill, bud. Oh, really? Oh, there's another. I bet this is another bluegill the way it's fighting. This might actually be a pretty good one. Yes, it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, it is. Okay, this lake definitely has some potential. 7 3/4. Beautiful male bluegill. See ya, bud. I'm not entirely sure what's causing these fish to be here. It's probably a little bit the fact that there's a little bit more sand around. It's pretty calm. The water seems to be cleared up just a hair here, which is probably another reason they're around. My guess is they may be bedded near here. Another one. Yeah, that's another gill. They're all about the same size. This one's a little smaller. But man, I tell you what, anywhere in that 6.5 to 8 inch range is looking like we're gonna be able to find a few. Yeah, I'm seeing some old bluegill beds, I think. So this is probably where they bedded. There's another one. Oh man, we found a mess of them, guys. This is awesome. All right. No 10 inchers yet, but man, that's a beauty right there. Look at that nice orange breast on this one. Beautiful fish, beautiful. I can see there's definitely, this is a lot more of a sandy area. And I think that makes a big difference. I think the lily pads they seem to like as well. There is deep water access off of this bank a little bit, so they certainly have access to deep water. And then, like I said, this water seems to be clearing up just a hair. The sun's peeking through the clouds a little bit, which I think is helping the conditions. All in all, I'm feeling pretty good right now. There he is. He got behind a pad stem. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a giant. They're digging this chartreuse donkey-tail junior though. There we go. God, he's got some fight. Certainly has got me. Oh no, he's behind a pad stem. There, I got him. God, they get behind those pad stems. Man, that's a nice one. 7.5, 7 3/4. Just another gorgeous fish. All right, see ya, buddy. We did doubles. And he caught a nice pumpkin seed. I caught a nice bluegill. We got a good area right here. You got yourself a bigger bass, I bet. Yeah, it's a bass. Dang, dude, I like that rod. That looks fun. You know, we're clearly seeing that fish group up with other fish of their size. All these fish have consistently been in that same class. Now the question is, are there any of those just extra big ones here? Because it seems like it's going to be hard to break that 8-inch number. This is laughable. I've never seen anyone do that. There we go. Another warmouth. Beautiful little fish, man. Those warmouth are really cool. Okay, one of the weirdest things that's ever happened to me while fishing just happened. An old lady and her grandkids, I assume, decided while we were fishing next to their dock to come down and just cause mayhem. She had a net and she was scooping grass, and she didn't even put the vegetation outside of the lake. She literally just put it right back in. And then her kids literally had pool noodles and were just smacking the water. And it was a very, very, very passive aggressive way of saying, don't fish next to my dock. Honestly, like if people come to me and say like, hey, would you mind not fishing next to my dock, you know, this, that, or the other thing, I'm usually pretty cool about it. I try to respect it. But when you're super passive aggressive about it like that, and are just doing it solely to ruin the fishing for us, I find that very weird. All in all, it's not the end of the world. We went ahead and left. We caught several more fish, but we went ahead and left. That was where it was happening, man. We were catching a lot of 7+ inch gills, some sunfish in the mix, and honestly, I think it had the potential. I don't think that we probably would have caught a 10-incher there, but I think we could have caught some 8+, and that would have been pretty epic. Is what it is. It was just so funny to me. One of the weirdest experiences on the water, that's for sure. Anyways, I think the good news is that this lake definitely has some good size potential. In addition to that, it's got dang warmouth, man. We've caught several warmouth and those things are beautiful and I love it. I freaking love it. This has been a fun lake so far. So let's get back to fishing. Let's see what we can do. I'm having a blast out here. Overcast skies, a little bit of sun peeking through. The temperature feels great outside. It's a little muggy out. Water's pretty dingy, but I think that spot was really popping because we had sand, we had a hard bottom, and the water was just a little bit clearer there. So I think that was a lot of the reason. Regardless, let's get back to fishing. Oh, there we go. Right in the middle of all these pads. Nice, beautiful pumpkin seed. Here we go. Man, that's a beauty. Woo! Oh, concussion. Oh. All right, so yeah, that was not the best way to release a fish. A nice one. I think it's a warmouth. I think it's a big warmouth. No? Gill. Nice. Yeah, we're back to the gills. You find a sandy bank, you find the gills. Man, that's a gorgeous fish. God, it's just another one of those. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that that's probably a 7.5 incher again. They're all about that size, which certainly can't complain. I mean, we haven't seen any really dinky ones. So I think that's really promising. This lake has definitely got me excited. There's a fish. While I'm drifting it, and we're trying not to crash into somebody's, oh man. If this is a bluegill, this might be a really good one. Oh no. Oh, what is this? Is that a big old bluegill? It is. Dude, that's a big female, bro. Look at this. Holy smokes. Might be an 8+. I can tell that's an 8 incher is what that is. Yep, that's exactly what that is. It touches a little hair over 8. Just a hair over 8, it's a female. That's awesome. Okay, we got our 8. Now we gotta find this one's mom. That's a beauty. Heck yes. Thank you, Dave, for bringing the boat. See ya, girl. I was just trying to keep us from crashing. There's a swimming dock over here, and I was just drifting it. And there's a weed line, and this is a pretty steep bank, but it's got that sand, and that is such a difference maker. I'm telling you, if you have a mucky bank, we don't find the big bluegill. If you find those silty, sandy banks, a little bit harder bottom, you find the bluegill. The average quality is good, man. Buddy, King Kong. Here, hold him up in his belly. He's over 8. He's probably 8.5. All right. This ain't Team Dink, boys. This is Team Donk. It's a beauty. Send her home. Oh.
You're on.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Guys. Another.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're all so healthy and big. This one's not as long, but he is girthy. Man, this is exactly what I wanted to do today. We have that chance. I'm feeling extremely optimistic. Look at that, beautiful colors. Holy smokes. Man, having a blast. Having an absolute blast. We're having a freaking good old time out here. We've got a pattern, that's what's fun. When you have a pattern, it feels a lot better. Like when you just randomly catch fish, it's like, I don't really know why I'm catching that fish. But here it's like, I know where the fish are, and we are certainly putting ourselves in the best position to catch that giant. Oh yeah. He was carrying that for a second. That's another bruiser. Oh my gosh, dude.
Nice.
Yes. This is what it's about right here. Perfect hook set too.
Yeah,
They're positioned in 5 to 6. They're not necessarily sitting on the bottom, but you got to kind of drift it and be patient. Beauty. I love that. See ya, buddy. There you got one.
Way off the back of the boat.
Real? Yeah, that was way out there. Yeah. It's a little smaller, it looks like. Oh, it's a crappie. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I thought I saw like a kind of like a
flash.
Yeah, a flash. I was like, man, it must be a female bluegill, but. All right, first crappie of the day, Dave. Multi-species mania, man. We've got a lot of species actually. So we've got largemouth bass, pumpkin seed, warmouth, bluegill, black crappie. Oh my gosh. Oh, it was a bass. And he turned sideways and I thought it was a big old gill. And then he turned towards me and it was just too easy. Well, that's the first time we caught a bass over this like group of panfish though.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh yeah.
Got it.
Yes, sir. Feels like a gill. Feels like a gill. Oh, he's got me in the, no! He broke me off. He got me in the grass. No How did you break me off? I knew I should have retied this whole time. You can only put 2-pound tests to the test for so long. But, God, a bluegill? I swear that's what that was. I mean, I'm not gonna, you can't just assume it was a, you know, a 10-incher or anything. It was a nice fish. It could have been a bass for all I know. That's a bummer. He got me down behind like a pad stem or a tree limb or something, and I think my line was just weak because I need to get in the habit of probably every 5 fish or so just retying. I'm a dummy. That's all on me. Shoot. I actually already have a 1/32 ounce chartreuse rigged up, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that one. What do you got? Ooh, another donkey. Another 6.5, 7.
Yeah.
Nothing giant, but another quality fish. Oh God, that bite felt so good. Ooh, it's a bass. He jumped freaking 2 feet in the air. Oh, dang it, he popped off. Oh man, I just like felt a tick in my line. It was sinking and I had a bunch of slack in there. Tick, and I set the hook really hard. Oh, that's funny. He jumped clear in the air. Okay, so we've been moving and grooving a little bit, trying to find more areas like the ones that have been productive for us, and quite frankly, we're not really finding them. We have a couple spots on this lake that are really good and they're very similar to each other, but outside of that, it's been hard to find good spots. So it's interesting. On one hand, it's great because we've certainly developed a pattern. On the other hand, it's kind of frustrating because you're limited to only a certain parts of the lake that have the capability of producing.
Get it?
Yeah, it's a really small bass. All right, okay. Not hard to find dinky bass, that is for sure. That bass looks like he's on a bed, but he's dinky. He's obviously not, but there's an old bed up there and he was sitting right on it. Okay, quick update. I tell you what, we have had an absolute blast out here. Talk about a successful day. I mean, we've patterned fish, we've caught big bluegill. We haven't caught a 10-incher, but man, that's a pretty big achievement when that day comes. I feel like we're putting ourselves in a position to maybe catch a 10-incher. No matter what, I would say today has been just a wild success. Huge fan of today's trip, huge fan. I'm gonna need this John boat. This John boat is lucky. And the Tilly hat's lucky. Life is good. Back to the high productivity spot. We're gonna fish this hard again, then we're gonna go home. Hopefully, with a couple more big bruiser gills to our name. There we go. Big old slab. I had to catch a crappie at some point. I caught a nice one. He's fat. Not like a really long fish, but it's very fat, healthy fish. All right, I'll take that anytime I'm bluegill fishing. See you, bud. This is what you get for inviting me in your boat. We got another one. Oh man, another. 2 in a row, right under that swimming dock. I think they're on the chain maybe. Yeah, he's pooping a little bit. I'm gonna let him poop in the water rather than your boat. You're welcome. Here, you can finish out mine. Catch a big old gill. I'm gonna try your little net rig setup. All right, one more cast with it. Got him.
Oh shit.
Had to catch a fish on your rod, buddy. 2 casts with the Ned rig, and I did it. All right, you can have your rod back. Thanks for letting me play with it. What do you got, bud? Come on, donkey. Donkey, donkey, donkey gill. Solid fish, good work. Oh boy, look at that head shake. That's gotta be a bass. No, another gill. Nice. I know, it's about like that last one. Both of those have been fat females. You got another. Okay, Dave's whipping my butt now. I think Dave got annoyed that I caught a bass on his rod, and so he's just crushing me. He's putting on a clinic. Just absolute giants too. You know, a nice 8.5 inch largemouth bass. Practically a master angler. Dave, I'm gonna slap you in your own boat. You keep beating me on my own channel like this. Oh, baby. You're catching the females all of a sudden. Folks, I tell you what, even though I kind of had a slow go there for the last 5 minutes, I had an absolute blast. And we caught a ton of fish. We caught 5 species and we just had a good old time. So shout out to Dave. Thanks, Dave. Hey.
Not a problem.
Oh, there we go. Just a good time. And certainly feel like my capabilities are getting better when it comes to big bluegill. I feel like I'm becoming more confident. I know what I'm doing better. And now it's just a matter of time. You just got to put in the time. You can't expect a 10-inch bluegill to happen overnight. It takes time, it takes hard work, and that is exactly what you can count on me doing. That being said, I'm gonna go home and eat some leftover pizza because I've got a bunch in my fridge and I'm stoked about it. We'll catch you next time.